Once upon a time there was a proud and rather fierce lion. The lion went prowling one day through a lush green meadow full of perfect green grass. Of course, lions don't eat grass, but looking up, high on a crag, the lion saw a goat. He called out to the goat, "Goat, why don't you come down here? Look at this lush green grass. Look at the beautiful food that's available for you. Why stay up there, high up on that high craggy cliff? Why stay there when you could come down here and you'd have a lot to eat? You could fill your belly with lots of fine food and you'd have plenty to be satisfied by. Come on down. Come and enjoy the food and the meadow." And the goat looked back and said, "Well, that's a fine thing. I do like green grass, and I do like that green meadow, but I don't just see beautiful grass to eat. I also see a hungry lion down there. And if it weren't for the hungry lion, I think I'd come down anyway." But he didn't. And the moral of that story is that whenever you get advice, sometimes that advice may be in your best interests, and sometimes that advice may not be in your best interests. And sometimes it takes a wise person to distinguish between the two. It's very easy to see that some people are motivated not by your interests, but by their own. And we find that's very much the case today. I think the whole of the marketing industry is based upon this kind of a fable. The idea that marketing too is something which is in the interest of the person who's doing the selling, not in the interest of the person like you who might be doing the buying. There's a lot of people out there who will give you lots of good advice. There are lots of people who will tell you what you ought to do. There are lots of people who will tell you that it's in your best interest and they're only really thinking about you and are only concerned about you. But you may find that at the end of the day, it's not as simple as that, and that really their concerns were mostly for themselves all along. You'll find there are a lot of people like that, who will pretend to be friends, pretend to be colleagues, pretend to have your very best interests at heart, and yet, when it comes down to it, all they're really thinking about is themselves. Take time, like the old goat up on the high crag, to think carefully before you follow other people's advice, and try to discern the real motives of individuals before you adopt what they tell you to do. Work it out for yourself as to what's really in your best interests and whether their motives are pure or not.